Check, check, check. All right. Welcome in. Let's roll that music. Welcome, everybody, to the Snapped podcast. My name is Tyler Kluver, and let's consider this a personal audio journal of mine. A lot of rambling, a lot of random stuff, anything relevant in my personal life that has to do with health, fitness, diet, business, being an entrepreneur, and simply trying to unlock the avenues of personal growth that help me find the most happy, fulfilling, and free life that I can live. I hope that you guys can take something away from the show and maybe find some entertainment in it as well. Thank you so much for listening, and let's get to it. All right, welcome in, welcome in. This is a first ever. Lots of milestones here on this podcast. First of all, if you're watching, which is just a very very small amount of you, maybe a few fringe YouTube perusers who have wandered across this video because you're interested in CrossFit. Probably not so much me myself. You probably don't know much about me or who I am, but I am awkwardly wearing my headset today before we talk about the results of the Open and kind of preview quarterfinals because it is I'm a father now. After 3 months of being a father, Mama had to go back to work, and Dad has baby duty, and it is currently 6:25 in the morning as we record this because, to be honest, day 2 of daddy daycare, probably not gonna get a lot done, not really the plan to get a lot done, uh, while we figure out how to be a one-man show here at the house and take care of baby girl. So, I need one ear to listen for when she wakes up, and you guys might hear that. You guys might see me just cut this thing off right in the middle, and I should stop wasting time so I can get out what we need to get out. This is also pretty off the cuff. 6:20 in the morning, forgot because yesterday was day 1 of daddy daycare, that I was even, supposed to get this episode out. I'm not doing a whole lot of work, but I did wanna get this out because, next week, we're going on vacation. I am going on vacation to Florida, and while I do still have a plan to complete the individual quarterfinals, spoiler alert, I made quarterfinals, uh, which is there's a week off between the Open, so this week there is nothing, and then next week the Open workouts or the quarterfinals workouts will come out, and that quarterfinals happens all in one weekend. Um, those happen Thursday afternoon through Sunday midday, basically 72 hours, 3 24-hour windows to complete the 5 workouts that will come out. And for 2 of those windows, I will be in Florida. So that's going to provide an interesting um, dynamic and reality in which I have to perform the workouts. And we'll talk about that here in a second and what that means for potentially my placing or my performance in the quarterfinal stage. But first, let's talk. Actually, before that, thank you to everybody who listens to this. I just got on the platform that I use um, for this podcast, which is different than the other podcasts that I do for Iowa football walk on stuff. Um, I just use a simple Anchor platform, anchor.fm, which I believe, at least by the look of it, has been bought out and basically been taken over by Spotify. And it's just called Podcasters or Spotify for Podcasters or something like that. So, regardless, that website gives us some analytics, and it's fun to look at how many downloads and listens I'm getting per episode and how many people are following this podcast on Spotify. If you listen on Spotify, hit follow on the show. It helps me out. It helps grow this organically. I don't really promote this. I plan to at some point, but not right now. And there's some other cool analytics and data that I can see on the back end of this podcast as well. Holding strong at like 250 to 300 people who tune into this every week, and that's even through the last couple weeks, which is purely CrossFit based. So we're pretty excited about that. The milestone that we hit, which is kind of nuts when you think about the fact that I just kind of throw these episodes out into the ether and let people find them, let people sort of find their way to the link on my personal Instagram, I think, or maybe my Twitter as well, the link tree that I have. Never once have I tweeted out an episode. I could get a lot more listeners, but I want to sort of have people who really, really desire to hear stuff from Tyler Kluver find this and listen to it. And I don't so much want to blast the other subset of my following, which is 99% for the Hawkeye content, the washed up walk on stuff. I don't want to blast them with, hey, I do another podcast about health and fitness. Um, I already do that with some just worded tweets. And when I send out fitness and health and um, call it self improvement tweets, that sort of um, area of when it's not Hawkeye related, I get 7 likes and no responses and no retweets. It's just like, um, the the care or level of interest that people who follow me on social media have for CrossFit, fitness, health, diet, exercise kinds of stuff is very, very low, almost non-existent, embarrassingly non-existent. Um, and we are always trying to change that. So, um, regardless, uh, 250, whatever, um, per episode, who are tuning into this, and at right at 114, or maybe this is 115 episodes. I can't remember which. We just crossed 25,000 downloads. 25,000 downloads for this podcast, which is nuts. Um, with no no advertising for it. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Thanks for being a part of Snapped Nation. Um, the results of the 2023 CrossFit Open, it's over. It was announced 1 week ago today, since I'm doing this day late. The last workout, 23.3. I speculated that it may or could have been another two-parter, like last week was the two-parter in 23.2 and 2B, where we had to do the shuttle runs and burpee pull-ups, and then the second 5 minutes of that workout was a max thruster. Um, so this week was just a single part workout. It was one of those fun workouts, sort of unlock your own fate by being fitter, type of deal, and we can talk about what that looks like here in a minute. But I had an interesting little progression through this year's Open. Every single workout, in my case, happened to be a better placing. So week one was my worst overall placing amongst everybody relative to the field. And then week two, the first part, I got a little bit better. The second part, I got even a little bit better. And then the final week, this past week, was my best relative score to the field. Um, and so, by doing so, I jumped up the leaderboard vast amounts. This isn't going to be the way it works for everybody. Some people, their best workout might have been the first one, and it could have gone in reverse. They could have gotten slightly worse in the leaderboards. I suppose this is just a product of the way. No, that's good. Our lights are flickering. Um, the product of the way that the workouts came out, because if you just flipped the way these workouts came out, I would be telling you in a different way. Um, but this is great. This is good. I the So my predictions, I forgot what I said on the podcast, exactly what they may be. But I mentioned like 7 or 8 movements last week, and I basically um, hit those on the head. I'm not magic or anything. It was just basically what was left relative to the past years in the Open, what they like to program, what works for hundreds of thousands of people when you're trying to conduct a really an experiment this big, a competition this big. You have to just kind of stick to certain things. Um, One interesting thing is they brought back wall walks. Wall walks showed up in 2021. Um, Wall walk is generally a um, a scale or a substitute for someone who cannot do handstand walking or someone who cannot do handstand push-ups. Um, However, done at larger numbers, they start to, or with certain other movements, they do start to fatigue the core and shoulders very, very well. I actually think they're a fantastic movement, and they don't require any equipment other than just a wall. So wall walks show up for the third time in a row in the open, and then they are paired with double unders and snatches. And there was 4 rounds. So wall walks, double under snatches, wall walks, double under snatches, and that was a 6-minute time cap. 5 wall walks, 50 double unders, 15 snatches. 5 wall walks, 50 double unders, 12 snatches. Throughout this workout, the snatches get lower in reps, higher in weight, and that is often the case with some of these unlock the next time frame workouts, where if where you decrease the amount of reps that are required, and then you increase the weight. And that is a way to sort of keep the same time frame generally. There's also fatigue factors, but you are able to advance into a different level of fitness where you're testing some real strength. What do I mean when I say unlock, right? So those first 2 rounds of wall walks, jump rope, snatches, wall walks, jump rope, snatches, you have 6 minutes to complete that. Now, haven't done the math on it, but I would say, gosh, probably less than, maybe more than half. I would say maybe around 50%. That could be way off. We're able to get out of those 6 minutes, right? 6 minutes, kind of a tight time cap. 10 wall walks is um, not a ton, but it's not a little. And 100 double unders is what it is. And then really what keeps people in that first 6 minutes and not being able to finish that work is the 27 snatches. Um, Most notably the 12 snatches in round 2 at 135. Um, Now, for anybody who is training competitively, this is a workout that I like more because in an open setting where there's 170,000 people, this workout really starts to separate. A ton of people will get cut off right there. They won't make it past the 6 minutes. And if they do, congrats, you're now back to the wall. But you're not back to the wall for 5 more wall walks. You're back to the wall, and the wall walks turn into strict handstand push ups. Another movement that I speculated might be in this week of the open. And generally, a movement that I'm very good at. Now, clearly, as we'll talk about here in a second, I was not as good, or at least under fatigue, I was not as good as I thought I was at them. Fresh or in a interval setting, I can generally bust out strict handstand push-ups very, very well, and it's probably one of my most natural movements um, relative to most people who come into CrossFit. Um, and so now uh, you make it before the 6-minute time cap. You now get an extended 3 minutes. So wherever you finish that first amount of work, you now have till 9 minutes, and a third round comes into play. It's the same, right? It's the on the wall, double unders, snatches. The wall turns into handstand push-ups from the wall walks, and the snatches go down to 9 reps. The weight goes up again. Um, if you are able to complete that, which this round was really the separator. Um, a crazy amount of people did not finish this round. Basically, 98% of people do not get out of this round here, largely because of starting it with 20 strict handstand push-ups. A lot of people they won't even get through the 20, um, let alone getting to another 50 double unders and then finishing 9 snatches at 185 pounds for the men. Um, if you are able to get through all that, you're of the 98 or 99% that get through it. Congrats, you have one more round. Your time cap now extends to 12 minutes, another round of 20 strict handstand push-ups, 50 double unders, and now you have 6 final snatches. Again, weight goes up, reps go down. The final weight, 225 pounds for the men, 155 pounds for the women, which is a very, very high weight to put into an open workout where you are 10, 11 minutes deep and you're now asked to, under massive shoulder fatigue, snatch 225 pounds. When this workout came out, I literally said to myself, wow, like that's, uh, if there was an open workout for me, this is the one. I love snatching. The double unders aren't enough to really be overly bearing for me. And that amount of wall walks and strict handstand push-ups, I thought, hell yeah, like let's fucking go. Now, placing wise, again, I said this ended up being my best placing in the open of this open. It's also my best placing in an open workout ever. Excuse me. So out of 169, I think it actually ended up being 170,000 plus men who signed up for this. I placed in this individual workout 1,518th, best placing I've ever had on a workout. That is top 1%. So top 1% would be top 1,700. 1,518th on this workout. I was able to get through the first 3 rounds, through the second set of strict handstand push-ups, through that last set of 50 double unders, and get to the very final movement of the 225-pound bar. And surprise, we actually did this workout twice. I did it originally on Friday, like I had been the first few weeks. Um, I was not able to get a rep on Friday. I left myself about 30 seconds on the clock, rested for 25 of those seconds, went for an attempt at 225, got under it, and it spit me out. I couldn't stabilize at the bottom. Um, Knew that I had approached the workout wrong. Um, I did not manage the handstand push-ups nearly like I should have. Kind of rushed in my preparation for the workout on Friday, which I don't know why, um, and wasted a lot of time on the handstand push-ups. Also, didn't go as fast in other areas of the workout that I knew I could. Sometimes that's just the product of a redo, which I don't redo workouts often. In fact, I don't know if I've ever officially redone one except for this one. Once you know kind of what you're capable of, now you know, oh, I can push, 3 to 5 seconds faster on this, or 3 to 5 seconds faster on this. So came back, hit it again on Monday, and went significantly faster. Got to the um, got to the bar, the 225 bar, a whole minute faster than last time. Um, Gave myself about 90 seconds, rested a little bit, was able to hit my first rep, and then decided that I was going to rest and not try and go for 3 reps. That's basically where I was going to max out at. I gave myself time to hit a second rep. I missed that second rep. And if you watch this, well, I haven't made it public, but if I make it public, or if you go to my Instagram, you'll be able to see that the last 2 reps I tried to basically double 225 um, within a 5-second window, and I almost hit both of them, but I crash and my shoulders aren't able to lock it out. So I end up getting 1 rep. The difference between my Friday attempt and my Monday attempt was a single rep on the leaderboard, 286 versus 287. Um, and funny enough, that 1 rep actually gets me somewhere around like 1,000 spots higher. I end up getting like 2,500th instead of 1,500th in the world. Very, very proud. After I thought that I'd be able to hit the 225 6 times. I thought that I could finish this workout. After seeing a lot of people, especially some higher up athletes, really struggle to finish this under the time cap, and doing it the first time on Friday, I realized, ooh, my fitness is not currently at the level it needs to be to finish this, um, at least in the 12 minutes. And uh, ended up sticking that first rep, that 1 rep on Monday, and felt very, very good about that. Um, So great way to go out in the open. Love it. And feels good to have my best open performance ever with that single workout. And where does that leave us, right? Where does that leave us after 3 weeks and four tests, four scored tests? Um, well, it leaves us pretty darn close to that relative placing on that single workout for the entire thing. So, again, we'll just recap very quickly. In the first workout, I was 7,759th. The second workout, part one, I was 5,360th. Second workout, part two, 2,629th. Second workout, and then finally this last workout, 1,518th. You take all of those placings and you just add them up points wise. So 7,000, 5,000, 2,000, 1,000. I end with a cumulative point total of 17,266. And in that point total, you are looking for the lowest number possible, right? So if you're able to theoretically get first on every single workout, you would have a score of 4. If you were to get second on every workout, you'd have a score of 8. You want a low score when it comes to the cumulative leaderboard. So 17,000 isn't necessarily low, but when you're going against 170,000 possible points every single week, it's not bad. And that cumulative score was good enough for an open finish of 1,743rd in this open. Best open placement I've ever had. That is not top 1%. It is just outside the top 1% by like 30 people. I think 1,710th would be top 1%. So I got 1,743rd, which is fuel on the fire for next year. Plenty of room to improve. In fact, over 1,700 spots to improve if we're being realistic. And you know, that this crushes my goals. I had no idea that I was going to be capable of this. I do think the workouts were favorable to me and unfavorable to a lot of people, but I don't get to choose the workouts. I just get to do them. And between these four scores, these four tests, I end up in the world 1,743rd. Now, if you go to the United States leaderboard and we search, should have done this before, and we search where I ended up in the United States, you will see that your boy got top 700 in the US, which is, again, crushed, right? My goals were to beat last season. And if we take a quick look back at last season, my open placement was 5,419th. That was previously the best I had ever done. 5,419th, not even top 5,000 in the world. Obviously, we just went over it. I just got top 1,750 in the world. In the US, I was just outside the top 2,000, right? I was like 2,020th. This year in the United States, I improved that to 663rd. And then last year, we didn't have this specific um, region that I was in. Uh, Last year, it was just North America in general that um, I was, I believe, 2,400th in North America. So that's the US plus Canada and Mexico, maybe. I'm not sure if they count Mexico as North America but anyway, I was 2,400th this year in the region. Um, North America West, I am 315th. So double that and you'd have all of North America. You'd probably have about the same, maybe a little lower, 400th on the other side of the North America. So again, top 700-ish finish in the region as well. 315th in North America West. Absolutely destroyed my expectations. I just wanted to do better than last year. We talked about it. Didn't get to train for 2+ months before this. Had a kid, had an injury, a lot of adversity, but We put out a pretty damn good performance, which lets me know that one, you don't lose fitness when you don't work out for a day or even a week or maybe even a month. You're not going to lose as much as you thought you would. So there's on a very broad general scale. Um, I think a huge takeaway for this episode is and sort of this open is consistency wins, right? 80% of the time is enough. The 80-20 rule holds strong. If you can be good 80% of the time on your diet, 80% of the time working out, 80% of the days of the year, you are going to make progress. You are going to get better. You are going to see gains. Um, and we need to know that as people because it's impossible to be 100%. So you are going to have days, weeks, months, sometimes in my case, where it's not ideal. You're not able to do what you want to do or something gets in the way. And this basically just adds more fuel to the fire of my competitive desire to see what I can do in CrossFit the next couple years. Um, I am very lightly trying to recruit and see what the team options for next year are. See if I can't get another male and two females to join together and create a team and see if we can't make a run at semifinals because I think it's a legitimate opportunity for us, especially if we get the right people. But you know, this moves us on to quarterfinals, right? 1,700, whatever. I got almost top 1%, basically the cream of the crop in the top 2% of the world. And you had to be top 10% to move on. So we move on, right? And quarterfinals will happen next week, as I mentioned. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to have all the perfect pre-workout and the perfect warm up and the perfect amount of time to get these workouts done and a perfect setup or even a gym that I've ever been in before or the weather that I've been working out in, which could play a massive factor, or the amount of sleep or rest or the same bed. Everything that's goes into performing well and having a routine is going to be off, right? So don't love that. Probably means that I'm not going to throw out a fantastic A1 performance for this quarterfinals. That's my fault. In agreeing to go on this vacation to Florida, I forgot that I would be I I forgot that semifinals or quarterfinals is usually programmed around this time of year. Um, and I wasn't gonna turn down. I knew that when we agreed to this vacation, it was also in the middle of the time where I wasn't working out, and I kind of thought that this open would just be whatever. I didn't even know if I was gonna do the open or be able to compete in it because I was hurt. So that's on me. But we will give our best effort. We will be in St. Petersburg, Florida, probably doing these quarterfinal workouts at a gym called CrossFit West Chase, in the Largo location, and we'll give our best effort and see what we can crank out. We're gonna have to do the first two workouts that are announced Thursday afternoon, sort of Friday morning in a 10 to noon open gym window, and then a few hours later, the second day's workouts will be released, and I will have to do those two workouts. One of them probably being decently long, all in an hour window, 7 to 8 a.m. Um, on Saturday morning. So yeah, it's just not going to be ideal, right? Like I'm going to have to take a. It's not going to be ideal. Because I've pigeonholed myself into doing these workouts on vacation at a gym where I don't have free reign, um, of time and space and equipment. Uh, Unfortunately, there's just no way I'm going to put out the best performance that I can possibly put out. Um, and there's a chance, depending on what workouts come out when, that the workouts end up. I actually put out a significantly uh, hindered score. I'm okay with that. I just need to get points on the board, update my ranking, and be ready for next year. Right, the quarterfinals. I was not going to make the semifinals this year as an individual. Probably not. Um, you look at my ranking in the Northwest region. You kind of start to speculate, okay, how many people now from quarterfinals get to move on to semifinals, right? Is it the top 10%? That would be great. That would be narrowing things down to then top 1% of the world, right? 10% of 10% is 1% of the original 100% pie. I would be just inside of that, especially in the quarterfinal style workouts. The problem is that they don't take the top 10% of the 10% onto semifinals. They take 60 people in the region. They take 60 people, which actually ends up being about um, the top 0.15% of the overall starting pool. 315th was where I finished in this region in the open. I would have to finish probably somewhere around like top 75 because some of these athletes will decline or have something going on or go team. Um, and that will whittle it down to the top 60. So I'd have to improve from 315th to 75th in these workouts. Not impossible. Uh, Without going into too much detail, maybe we can talk about it later. Eh, Not looking great. Just what came out last year in quarterfinals, what came out this year in the open, that informs sort of what we'll see in quarterfinals. There will probably be several weaknesses that I have not worked on, mainly larger sets of chest to bar pull ups, rope climbs, GHD sit ups, and strength movements, like a heavy deadlift or heavy squats that I just, haven't put the work in for. Regardless, we're gonna do it. We're gonna see what happens, and we're gonna have fun doing it. So there will not be a podcast next week. Um, uh, so this is sort of the quarterfinals preview. A week after this comes out is when the first quarterfinals workouts will come out. Again, 2 of them will come out on Thursday. You have until Friday at like 2 p.m. to get them in. At that 2 p.m. time deadline, the next 2 workouts come out. You have until Saturday, 2 p.m. to get those in. At that 2 p.m. deadline on Saturday, the final workout comes out. You have until Sunday at 2 p.m. to get that in. We will come home that Saturday from vacation as I'm leaving in 2 days, Saturday to Saturday trip. I will be able to complete the 5th workout in the home gym, not the actual home gym, but the gym that I've done these 3 open workouts at, and, that will help with a little bit of my performance, maybe, but I'll also just have gotten off the plane. We will see. Regardless, we crushed our open goals. I think I can perform decently well in the quarterfinals, and the competitive fire still burns hot. We will talk about what, an updated version of my competitive future landscape looks like after the quarterfinals. And after we break down the entire quarterfinals, which is a actually fun episode because get to talk about 5 workouts all together instead of just one. Um, and we'll talk about all that then. But baby is starting to roll around. I still need to eat breakfast before she fully wakes up, and then it's daddy daycare, dad mode, full go. So thanks for listening. Everybody have a fantastic 2 weeks until I talk to you again. And until then, peace.